I'm back to using my phone today. I think using the iPad was a bit of a disaster. So what I'm going to do is explain that if you have a GarageBand on your phone or your iPad, it's actually the same layout. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just go back and talk through what I basically mentioned yesterday in the video, but the video had no volume. So when I recorded it and I used the mic that I use here, it clearly didn't pick up, which is very interesting. So I think I need to rethink how the mic works on the iPad. Anyway, so we're going to go into the discussion of GarageBand today. I want to get back into this track so I can continue talking about how to develop a composition, a song, an idea, manifest it, and build it up in layers, which is what we're doing here. This is an example piece. If it does turn out pretty cool, we can always put this up on Spotify because I have an entire collection of tracks that I was going to place back onto Spotify probably shortly. I need to get to that though, amongst Poshmark ambassador stuff and all that. And I just found out that Logic Pro X actually does have an iPad format. They don't have a phone format, mainly because an iPhone format, mainly because it's probably a little too small to use Logic Pro X on, or Logic Pro on a phone. Okay, so let's talk about what I tried talking about through the phone format yesterday as an iPad format today. It's the same setup. It's exactly the same. So if you have GarageBand on an iPad or an iPhone, it's basically exactly the same layout. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to create a track. I tried doing this yesterday, but it didn't work. You have to hear what I'm saying in order to actually understand. Okay, so this is generally what it looks like when you open up GarageBand. Okay, you're going to have this kind of layout. What you're going to do is you're going to press that plus sign. Okay, which is going to lead you to live pools or tracks. And let's start with, I putz around with live pools. So we're going to choose one of these, and these are downloads. So you go through this section over here, and you can just pick and choose, and you can download the loops. Okay, we're going to go as done. I've collected a couple, so let's use a Beatmaster. Let's see what this is. Okay, uploading or up. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Say for instance, we don't have anything on there. Let's see what it says. MP4. So I'm going through these little buttons over here. Setting, that little, everybody probably knows what a setting looks like. So setting, it says tempo, time signature, key signature, time ruler. Okay, fade out, notepad, you don't really need those at the moment. So let's look at time signature is fine. Key signature, we're just going to use C. That's automatically on there. But you can choose what they have here. Major and minors, they don't have the pentatonic, like the Logic Pro X does not have a pentatonic kind of format. You have to kind of work with what they have. Pentatonic isn't a minor, mainly minor when you're playing it. Okay, so let's just stick to C. Just for argument's sake, you can go C sounds like this. Let's revise. Middle C. So that's the key signature we have now over there. This is why it's important to know your key signatures and your scales, because if you can identify through listening to a track that you like and kind of pick up what the sound sounds like and play along, probably just in a scale as to what the key is in, then you're on the right track. This is why I really emphasize the scales. Okay, that's like major, whether it's guitar or whatever. It helps you pick up the notes. That's the important part. Okay, so that's there. Metronome is on. Tempo. Okay, we're going to record it, so let's just double check everything. So there are all these things you can play around with. You can identify. Once you have the track, you can adjust the volume. That's like the mixing and mastering set over there. That's also mixing and mastering. That's once you're ready with that. So this is just, once again, going back to the whole thing, this is just a larger version of what you find on the phone. If you have an iPhone 12 and up, you'll be able to get this. It's just, the iPhone is just a tad bit smaller. And this is just a little bit easier to see. Either or is fine. If you just have a phone, that's okay. So let's start with some sounds here. And you can control those buttons there. So these are just waves. They circled them. They made the waves in like little circles, literally loops. Loops are just like sections of sounds, and then you put it together. And if you scroll up, oh, in this case, those are all the beats. Okay, so they've made it real simple. Usually, if you scroll up and down, you'll be able to find more sounds on the right side. Same thing applies for the phone. Same thing. Okay, those are drums. Those are like toms, timpanis, congos. No, they're congos. Sorry. I should know my percussion instruments. Congo drums. Or toms. Toms or congos. Okay. So let's create something. So you know what you want to do is you want to play around with the sounds. If you want to try beats, those are cool. Okay. So let's put a beat down. I always prefer to have like beats before I even start looking at the instruments. Yeah, and they have all the instruments on here. So if you need, like, it's just touch sensitive, and it basically plays the same way you'd play an instrument. It's just you can't feel the instrument. It's more on dealing with the touch sensitive format. Okay. So let's record something. Metronome is on. Let's try that. Okay, so we recorded. It does pre-record and it saves automatically, which is kind of cool. Versus being on the computer, you have to kind of check to see if you've recorded, saved, and all that stuff on the computer. So you have to kind of bear in mind that there are two kind of different things going on here. Unless one day we have touch-sensitive computers and you can just go do, and like Star Trek, it just miraculously happens that the spaceship takes off, which is, that's the goal, right? The goal is to actually get everything to work with just a touch of the finger, which is the direction that technology is going in now. I find it absolutely fascinating. Okay, so let's listen to what we have. Oops. So it recorded. Okay, we're going to put it at stop. Say you want another instrument, okay? This is just a tester. We're not creating anything fancy schmancy. So if you want another instrument, you see these little buttons over here? Once again, same thing as the phone. You're going to press this over here. No, you're not. Yeah, and you're going to go back. You're going to go to tracks. So once again, live loops and tracks. And you're going to, let's say we want a keyboard. I mean, I think if you're like a professional, like if you play piano, this will probably not work as well, but you can definitely test it out and record some basic like notes on there. I would recommend actually having a keyboard or like even a guitar, and just you could probably plug it in. You just need some more bits and pieces. This is a portable. This is portable. I'll talk about this. The AGO6, and you could probably move that around with you if you need to do anything. You'd probably just need more external pieces to add in, or you just have, you know, it's going the direction where technology is going to be Bluetooth, and I'm pretty sure that's where I'm going. I'd like to take a recording studio all the way through Bluetooth and see how good a quality you can get. So say you can like go outside, have your own little like setup that you can travel around that's a portable recording studio, and see how the quality turns out just by having a set of headphones that is Bluetooth, having a mic that's also connected. The headphones that I have here are not, the quality mic is not that great, unfortunately, so I've tested that out. Okay, going back to this, let's say we have, I'm going to just, since I can't, okay, so this moves too. Let's see the type of, and if you can't play, you have those, like if you play guitar, this is like, so it automatically sets up the chords, which is cool. Like you could probably play around with that. Root position. First inversion, second inversion. I constantly bring this up. Root position, first inversion, second inversion, because you can literally, this gives you the root positions. So this is giving you. Okay, so that they have those on here too. So let's record something. Let's change the piano. Okay, so you see the little keyboard over here, the little piano? Okay, so we're gonna go there. And you can swivel it up and down, and you can choose a different sound if you like. Different sound if you like. Let's try 80s Shine synth. Okay, and these are, once again, we're on the chords. You can always adjust it to the notes later. And I'd recommend probably, since we're in C major, we're going to try to keep everything in C. Okay, let's record something. And it has the beat already, so you have that. Okay, hypothetically speaking, not the best, but it's an experimental piece. Okay, so now that we have that, let's hear what we got. Okay, so it definitely recorded and saved, which is great. I just want to show you what it looks like, and that's what you've composed. So what we're doing is you're looking at it as, these are now waves, right? These are sound waves that have now been manifested into the equipment. And like I said, this GarageBand is just a simpler version of Logic Pro X. And in fact, this version on iPad, Logic looked a little bit like this when they first started coming out. So you can see that it's a digress down from what Logic might have had on the computer before into GarageBand for the new software. So it's, or as you would say, DAW. They call it DAWs. Let's now switch it over. So let's go back to this. Music instruments. What are we going to choose? Drums, guitar. You could use the mic. I don't know how good a mic it is. I haven't used it yet. Violin, bass. Bass is always good to have. Let's try the bass. Let's see the different variations on what we can do here. And once again, the other instruments. Oops. Oh, let's try an upright. Uprights are always cool. Okay, uprights. Chord notes. Oh, and when you're doing this, you could actually, oh, it doesn't do that. So you can actually pull it like a bassist would. Yeah, so it does a pretty good job with instruments. Volume's all the way up. Okay, let's try something. I'm going to just go back to chords because so start with the chord and then add it on, right? So let's try. Start from the beginning again. And I would recommend using both hands. Okay, so you can see that, you can clearly see that the instruments are on here. And, you know, even if you have the instruments, you can, and you're starting off with all these instruments, you could probably use this as your guideline to tune your instrument. So use GarageBand as a tuner as well. I reminded students when I had students who were playing guitar or whatever back in Guitar Center, I would always say, oh, try to use something that tunes it. And everybody talks about getting the tuners for the guitar, but this is another way to do it. You can always use GarageBand as a tuner for the instruments. Just a thought, I suppose. Okay, so that's what we're going to do right now. So I'll go more in depth with it later. There are lots of things you can do. But that's generally what I spoke about yesterday. Unfortunately, I recorded all of 20 minutes of a discussion only to find out later that there was no sound, which absolutely, like, I was like gobsmacked. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like, it's like just my luck that I do a great discussion and then all of a sudden it didn't record the discussion. It recorded the visuals. That's okay. I did try something else with the track. I think I just wanted to focus on GarageBand today. Tomorrow I'm going to get back into working on the track. As you know, if you're okay, let's look at a drum set again. Let's go back to this because let's go check out a drum set here. Drum sets. So as I was showing yesterday on a smaller thing, you can yeah. It's generally set up the same way as a drum set. So yes, you could use a couple of your fingers to manifest a sound on here. And it's and you can always change the, let's see, you can always change, once again, you can always change the drum set. So you can change it here, go there. You can choose your drum set. Let's choose another one. Ooh, that's nice. And it has a different sound. Obviously, you'll hear it. You'll definitely hear it if you're a drummer. You can hear the difference. I'm blown away by the app, the setup. Okay, now we're going to close this. It's automatically saved, so you don't have to worry about it. Let's close it now. Okay, so now it's saved as my song. You can change the name. You can click on this. Let's do tester. Tester YouTube. Let's just say tester YouTube 3. That's fine for now. And then you save it. And the next time you can go back in there and rework it like a painting and keep going. Okay? Now I'm going to show you that I need to update this in order for me to get Logic Pro. But you can get a Logic Pro on here, which is what I noticed yesterday, and I checked it up, and sure enough, people are now using Logic on their iPads. So that will be my next experiment to see where that goes. Hopefully by tomorrow I'll have it set up so we can test that out. Okay, and please like and subscribe. You guys are super cool. Sorry about you couldn't hear the whole conversation, so I thought maybe I'll just break up I'll work on the GarageBand today on the iPad. Once again, iPad and iPhone layout is exactly the same, so this is just an easier, you can see it now. I mean, I'm going to have to eventually do screenshots and somehow use the computer through the editing formats on my videos, which I'll get to later. I think I'm just starting off on YouTube with an actual channel. The other channel that I had was not, it was sort of like bringing projects together, but I wasn't really as dedicated to it. So it just gives some ideas of what kind of things I had done before. Once again, like and subscribe. Love you guys. Thank you so much for all the compliments. I'm getting compliments. I'm like absolutely freaked out. I'm like, I never get compliments. I'm stunned. And I thoroughly appreciate everybody that comes in to watch these videos and spend some time with me. And see you guys in the next one.